Welcome to another video. Thank you very much for tuning in. I wanted to address the myths that I commonly hear from my coaching clients as to why they're not able to pay off their mortgage in 10 years. So the biggest myth that I encounter is that it is impossible to pay off your mortgage in 10 years without making major sacrifices. This is a common comment that I get from my coaching clients and from new individuals that I meet who I'm introducing them to the concept of becoming mortgage free in 10 years. So many people think that they have to give up something very long term in order to become mortgage free. In their mind, you know, they think it's not worth doing because they don't want to give up whatever it is that is making them happy at that very moment in their lives. So this is the way I like to explain it. You don't need to make major sacrifices to become mortgage free. You don't need to give up anything. It's just making a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. So what if I told you, okay, for the next month, rather than buying lunch for work every day, what you would do is prepare and pack your lunch, okay? And then at the end of the 30 days, you would be rewarded with $150,000. Okay, so taking your lunch to work for a month is not a big sacrifice for many people. Yet for some others, it is. They would rather spend $8 or $10 a day buying lunch. And if you think about it, buying lunch every day could cost you about $200 a month. Okay, so imagine if you were to put this $200 against your mortgage, this amount would go right to your principal. Really, so this would automatically help you reduce your mortgage and your mortgage duration and the overall interest that you're paying for your mortgage. Okay, so what we're talking about is coming up with short-term sacrifices for the long-term goal. Okay, and the long-term goal here is to become mortgage free. Or for some of you, it might be to be able to travel, to not have to work 9 to 5, to be able to be your own boss, right? Whatever your long-term goal is, becoming mortgage free can help you do that. So calculations show that if you were to become mortgage free in 10 years, you would be able to save an upwards of $150,000. So if someone would pay you $150,000 to take your lunch to work every day, would you go for it? Okay, so a common objective that I hear as well, you know, in terms of the sacrifice, is that, Huong, I don't want to sacrifice my traveling plans. I love to travel, and if I don't travel, I would feel like I'm lifeless and incomplete. So it's more important for me to be able to travel than to pay down my mortgage. I hear that. I sympathize with that because I love to travel. Okay, like I just love to travel, whether it's someplace cold or someplace hot. I love to travel. So keep in mind that what we're talking about here is not giving up traveling. What we're talking about is making small adjustments to the desire of traveling every year. So one of my clients shared this concern to me, and together we decided to make a list of places that he wanted to go and see in the next 10 years. And his goal was to travel to 1 or 2 of these places every year over the next 10 years. I can definitely tell you he was not willing to sacrifice his traveling plans in order to pay off his mortgage. Absolutely not. So the outcome of our coaching session was we figured out and estimated how much money he would need to go to each of the places that was on his traveling list. And then the arrangement that we made was over the next 5 years, he would only travel to the places that would require the least amount of money. So this way he would be able to put aside extra money that in 5 years' time, the amount of money he saved, he would be able to fund his future travels. Okay, so now the effect of doing this is twofold. Okay, one is that he would be able to travel every year like he wanted to and not feel like he's not living, or that, you know, like that feeling of being house poor or house broke. And two, because he's able to save money from traveling to budget-friendly places, he would be able to save some money and put that amount of money against his mortgage. And that would go directly right against the principal, reducing the amount of interest he pays and the duration of his mortgage. So imagine how many more places you would be able to go if you didn't have to worry about a mortgage. And imagine being able to travel and not have to be on a budget anymore. Okay. Another way that I like to tackle this myth is by asking the question, do you know what is more work than becoming mortgage free in 10 years? It's more work to have to work past the age of 65 because you still have a mortgage, or if you're living paycheck to paycheck, or because you have to work 4 months out of the year to pay your taxes. Okay, these to me are a lot of work and a big waste of time that should have been spent on enjoying retirement at that age. Becoming mortgage free is way easier than working at a job that you don't like anymore. So imagine the freedom you would have if you didn't have to worry about your mortgage anymore. You would be able to reduce your work from full-time to part-time if you wanted to. In some cases, become your own boss. You would be able to take those random trips and spend more quality time with the ones you love anytime you wanted to. Okay, so here's a tip to show you how to become mortgage free in 10 years. This tip is mentioned in the book. It is the G in the GLAD method, which is to go accelerated. Okay, so what the tip is, change your mortgage payments from monthly to accelerated weekly or bi-weekly. Now, this will automatically reduce your mortgage by 3 years and can save you more than $25,000 in interest payments. That's 3 full years, okay? You'd be able to save 3 years off your mortgage, and you'd be able to save the interest right off the bat. And this doesn't require a sacrifice. You would already have to pay this money to the bank anyways. Okay, so if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, give me a like down below, subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions about becoming mortgage free in 10 years or about this tip or this myth, please feel free to email me or respond below. Thanks very much for watching.